I'd like now to ask Ed Wilson, Deputy Managing Director at Wilson Transformers, to come up on stage. And Wilson Transformer Company is a leading Australian manufacturer of power and distribution transformers. Ed began his career in the power transformer business as a process engineer. He focused on improving production using Six Sigma and lean manufacturing techniques. He later joined WTC, taking responsibility for all production areas and the testing of power transformers before becoming general manager. In July 2014, he became the Deputy Managing Director with overall responsibility for the business. Please welcome Ed Wilson to the stage.
It was a good game of table tennis too. Education. Education is like love. You can find it in the most unexpected circumstances. My name is Ed Wilson and I'm the Deputy Manager at Wilson Transformer Company. And we are a privately owned manufacturing business who specialise in providing transformer solutions. We design, manufacture, test, install and provide through-life support from 2 manufacturing facilities in Victoria. We are both in the manufacturing and service industry. Our products range in size from 200 kilograms right up to 350 tonne. And that gives you a sense of the products that we make. The manufacturing man hours also range between 20 on the small products to 7,000 to 8,000 hours. So it's very much a material and labour intensive product. Most of our products are made to order and are unique to each customer. So we talk about prototypes, we are a prototype shop. I'll be focusing on a strategic initiative we adopted which has been very powerful in our business. This initiative was implemented shortly after a major customer visit where they challenged us. And simply put, they educated us without even realising it. Today I want to provide you with one key idea or learning that you can take away to your business that will ultimately lead to an improvement. So, in 2009 we were undergoing a pre-qualification process with Chevron globally. We completed all the components but stalled on the health, safety and environmental system. Chevron suggested we visit them in Perth so they could tell us what their requirements were or really show us. We were actually blown away by what we saw, what they had in their system and culture in the way of safety. The journey over there, we were thinking, we want to do this to be pre-qualified with Chevron. On the way back, it was all about, we actually want this for ourselves. They had educated and inspired us to make some changes. So in the following month, we actually modified our vision. So all employees could relate to where we wanted the direction of the company to go. It was quite simple. 0 harm, 0 waste, complete customer satisfaction. Not just once, not in a month, but actually always. That's pretty challenging. When I was rolling it out in small groups, I soon realised where we'd fallen down. Not one single employee could recite what our vision was. To be perfectly honest, neither could I. Straight away we had instant employee engagement, particularly around the 0 harm. And we utilised the value of care to really get that engagement. We initially focused on our safety system due to the customer requirement of Chevron and meeting the pre-qualification process. But today I'll touch on each of these elements very briefly so you can see some of the successes that we've had. The first one being 0 harm. As manufacturers, I think everybody's aware of LTIFR, lost time frequency injury rate. Well, 4 years ago we were sitting at 36.1. We thought we had a pretty good safety system. Today, we're sitting at 3.6, a 90% improvement 4 years later. And touch wood, by the end of November, we'll actually be at 0. Now this was done through some pretty major initiatives. We redesigned our whole safety approach from a proactive to a reactive one. We rewrote our entire safety management system in a focused 3-month time period because of the pre-qualification. We implemented a cloud-based management tool for hazards and incidents. So anywhere in Australia or anywhere around the world where you had internet access, you could log a hazard. We had to lead by example. Phrases like the standard you walk past is the standard you set. We ensured employee engagement right at the beginning. We initiated shift pre-start meetings with safety as the #1 agenda item. And this was all great, but the benefits from this, the culture, first of all, of the people is fantastic. People are actually at work working, so we talk about productivity. It's much better having someone at work working than sitting at home recovering. But the straight on the bottom line of the financial reward, our work cover premium has dropped by $200,000 annually, and we're expecting that to double or triple over the next few years. The second element, zero waste. We've heard a bit about zero waste. Now our products attract high material content and labour hours. Thank you. Our products are, have, as I mentioned, a high material content and labour hours. So our focus was immediately on reduction of material and reduction of labour. And employees could see this in their work area primarily from the organisation layout, workplace layout, as well as the rework in terms of quality. Here are a couple of photos of some of the early days of what we did in the factory. And James mentioned the lean manufacturing. This is 5S, which I'm sure many of you are aware of, in our maintenance workshop. It was our first 5S experience. Another one being our test setup, changeover. This was a changeover from 30 minutes down to 5 minutes, just by the use of some shadow boards, tools, and a bit of a change in layout. Since then, actually, both those areas have been completely knocked down because we've actually gone through a capital expansion project, and we've used that knowledge in setting up the new facility. We've now started to choose the right equipment for the processes that we're performing. The one on the left there is a core cutting line, which has replaced 2 cutting lines, a 3-shift operation and 6 people, down to a 1.5 shift operation, 2 people. We're also implemented some innovation in design. On the right-hand side there, some stainless steel pipework using CNC bending. We used to manufacture this out of mild steel, grip glass paint. We had 7 boilermakers doing that job. We still had issues with corrosion and rust at site. We now have 1 operator doing all the pipework for the entire business. And this idea actually came from a supplier of ours during the expansion project. I can't emphasise enough the learning from our customers, our suppliers, our peers, and also ourselves. And all these examples have been results of that. We're particularly focusing now on systems and processes, particularly the quality system, where we're capturing issues, no matter how small they are, we're correcting them, putting preventive actions in place, and also controlling them. At the end of the day, if we're not satisfying our customers, we won't have a business. These are some of the sectors that we serve. Primarily, we've been in the transmission and distribution and renewables sector, where our customers have owned the assets and they value whole of life cost. So for us as an Australian manufacturer, we could demonstrate that value that value proposition of whole of life cost. And it's been very successful. It's enabled us to integrate ourselves into their businesses, their procurement practices, their planning practices, and we've formed these strategic partnerships. But recently we're entering the other areas, oil and gas, the industrials and mining. The customers that we're working with now don't necessarily own those assets. So they're after the lowest capital upfront cost, but it has to be technically compliant. So all these value engineering options that we've been supplying for years suddenly aren't being valued, but they're adding cost, and it's putting us, making us uncompetitive. So we're now changing our mindset, and particularly around our design philosophy. So for all these examples I've shown today, we wouldn't have been able to do this without others. We've learned all these techniques from others. Without them, it would have taken us far longer to achieve what we've done. So therefore my suggestion would be listen to the people around you at events such as this. Capture what is important for you and your business. What works for me might not work for you. Plan and implement the initiatives that you have identified. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. Utilise your networks. What has been powerful for us was that direct alignment with the vision to the way we want to operate on a daily basis. It's given our employees the tool and the ability to challenge us in everything that we do on a daily basis. So that is our vision: zero harm, zero waste, complete customer satisfaction, always. I mentioned the similarity of education and love right at the beginning. Well, as with love, the best kind of education is always. Thank you.